To support the cupola in terms of drafting, I'm going to use this door with a grill here so that the air from outside is drawn up and out, and it creates that drafting loop. I thought this might work out. I was over at the Lowe's, got this oak collection grill. It's a floor plate, you know, for HVAC, heating, ventilation, and air conditioning. And if I angle it with the slats coming down, it will be an insert that will keep the rain off of the outside from going in, but it will let the air draft through. For this project, I'm going to need the circular saw, the extension cord, paddle bit, and the drill to be able to cut the holes from the corners, the level, measuring tape, caulk, contractor adhesive, paint, the wood itself, and then I may end up with one of these hand saws, needing some of that as well. Change of plan. I cut this and I realized that you can see through it. So from a privacy standpoint with the shower, not such a great idea. So here's the concept. I cut these from the old, this is the dumpster finds again, and then also cut these little blocking pieces. I have the extra screws and the washer and the nuts, so I can run it like with blocking, and the air will go through. So I'm gonna cut a hole that's just a little bit smaller than this size board, and it will be raised off the side on both sides, so that what you'll do is you'll have the air drafting through on its way up to create that convection loop. I've measured off the size of what's gonna be this opening and started the first of the 4 pilot holes. I'm gonna cut this first starter hole into each of the corners and then come in from the other side as well, given that I'll see daylight through the little opening. 4 holes are cut, and if I close this door, you'll see the daylight that I was referencing. Okay, good. So now when I come across, I'll be able to use these 4 holes to run that paddle bit, so that way I don't tear up the edge on sometimes the push side. 4 holes? It's gonna be great. Now I'm gonna decide. I'm gonna either use the circular saw to cut the square out, or the hand saw. Either way, it's gonna go pretty fast. The level, super key. So here's what we're gonna do. Just so that we get this nice and leveled off, I am going to line this up just so the float is there, and I'm gonna strike my line across the top. And I'm gonna do the same thing at the bottom, right there, and then vertically, I do the same thing. So now the advantage of doing it this way is if I can get this level right here up top, you can see it there, you just make sure that on my earlier measurements, I'm kind of doing it as a cross check. And then this side, I can do the same thing. So before I cut, I just want to have it nice and square. And then what I'm going to do with the hand saw when I'm done after the circular is I'm just going to clean up these corners so that those are going to be nice and square as well, coming into the model before the plate goes over the top. Here's a little detailed shot of that float. So you can see if I tilt it, it goes to the left. The hole is cut, and now what I'm going to do, I'll walk outside in the sunlight to show you guys, is I'm going to use this strip that I cut from the corner of that salvaged piece, and I'm going to have them set like right up in here, so that what you'll end up doing is having it come out about 1.25 inches to let that air draft through. I've cut these little blocks so that they take into account the length of the stainless steel screws, and now I'm going to glue them down. That length takes into account the 3/4 inch for the actual thickness of the door. Okay, so with a little daub of the, this adhesive, what I'm going to do is just squeeze it out. This is the liquid nails. Blink, right there. And done. Then I can set it just right here on the corners. And I'm going to wipe with my finger the extra goo away. I found an easier way to apply the liquid nails than to put the basically end on top of this. What I did is I just squirted some from the handle right on there. So then when I come over here, I can just set it right there in the corner. I still get the little extra, but it's a little less awkward to move into place. And then I can, you know, use one of these little pieces of packaging just to scoop away that extra residual adhesive. Gotta make sure these are all lined up when they set in place. Okay, I'm looking pretty good with those four. The great happy accident of this new ventilation to help draw the air through and up out of the cupola is the natural light that's created. So we knew that we had the natural light from here, which was great. But this is a big bonus. So during the day, and it'll be interesting to see in the evening, we're gonna get that glow, not only overhead, but from the top of the door with the privacy, because there's no way for anyone to really look in. We do have a light on the outside here of the house, so at night we'll be able to see if it creates a little bit of a glow inside of the shower. Here's again from the privacy, you know, the view in. You don't see anything because there's the step back. 7:45. August 26th. The sun has just gone down. We're going to test the cupola and the new ventilation, what I'll call the ventilation panel, which has not only the air intake, but also should provide a little bit of natural light. So we do have the artificial light with the LED, but I want to see what it looks like without it. Hey, that is the white panel. It's kind of cool. So when you see from the side, you can be like, hey, what's up? And then in here, your eyes will adjust eventually, but what I like to do is just pop the LEDs, and that gives you the glow. Big difference. So now you get the benefit of the natural light, the ventilation, and my favorite new addition, this little cupola. Pretty great. Okay, backyard light is on. Now, question is, the light inside the outdoor shower. There's the inlet for the drafting from earlier today, and the cupola from the day before. So when I go inside, we're gonna see if there's any natural light from the sky dome, meaning the moon and the stars. Probably not. That's the light that's coming in from the light at the back of the kitchen door. Ooh, that's kind of cool. So that is the little glow box. And this one gets a little something too, but it's clearly not enough light to take a shower. So we go over here and we turn on the LED. Okay, now we're set. So it's really not about bringing at night light, and that was never the expectation, but it's kind of interesting to check it out. And back outside. It's 7 in the morning, and I wanted to check out the natural light and the ventilation in the outdoor shower just to see if there's any real difference from dusk. So I typically take showers in the evening after I've been working and I, wash off. There's the glow. So this is literally 7, 8. The glow is nice. So here's the shower. This has, by the way, the teak floor, which is great. So if you're barefoot, I happen to be wearing the flip-flops, but if you're barefoot, what it does is it creates, I put this in years ago, it creates a little bit of a spring. So it's a set of slats that are really nice, because what it does is it lets the water drain through. And then the way it's set up, they're panels. So I didn't have to build each one. They came in sets. And it's pretty great because, putting your towel here bathing suit, whatever you might be wearing, having some of the extra clothes is sort of in this area that is the kind of the transition to the wet zone. So 7 a.m., or in this case, 8 minutes after 7, works pretty well. And the ventilation, hard to judge because again, the outdoor air is now really the same as the indoor air. The ventilation with that cupola was more intended for when it's really hot in the afternoon and the heat starts to build up.